What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball. So we're a decent way through the season at this point to where I can start to make some observations about what's going well for certain teams, what isn't going well for certain teams, and, what moves need to be made. There's a lot of ways to improve your team in the NBA, right? There's developing through the G League, there's making trades. One of those is just picking up people off the street, though. And what I wanted to do today is I wanted to take a look at who's actually still just floating around right now and see, hey, are any of these guys capable of helping out a team right now? Should they be on a roster at this point? And are they possibly someone that's going to end up on a roster? So Hoops Hype here, shout out to Hoops Hype, man. They're awesome. They've got a little tracker going on of all free agents like throughout the year, so you guys should go check that out or whatever. I don't know why it just moved me there, but I figured we would just go from 20 on down and kind of look through all these guys and say, hey, is there a spot for them in the league? And if so, where? Mostly with contending teams, right? Because there's not a point if you're not a great team to be just picking up dudes off the street and adding to your books. That just doesn't make much sense. The first one here, Juan Toscano Anderson. Juan's been on a couple different contending teams, right? The Lakers, the Warriors, stuff like that. He's known to just be an extreme hustle guy. He's extremely athletic. A lot of times he plays the 3 or 4, even though he's only about 6'4", 6'5"-ish. But he doesn't do much else besides bring you just a ton of hustle stats. And so for this reason, I'm not so sure I see him helping out a contending team. I have all the teams up just because it helps me think through them a little bit quicker, but I don't know what contending team just needs a defensive guy that can't really shoot. I mean, you look at him the last season with the Lakers or whatever, it's not that great. So not sure I see Juan going anywhere. But looking on to the next one, Stanley Johnson. Stanley Johnson is somebody that I can see being on a roster. He was a lottery pick back in the day by Detroit. Never really found his footing in the league. But, the last couple times he's been picked up by teams, he's actually been a really solid contributor. He's an elite defender. He can switch and guard just about anybody on the court. 1 through 4, you could probably switch him onto a 5 temporarily if you needed to. The thing with Stanley always was he was so unavailable offensively, but you see the 3-point percentage actually did go up. So last year with San Antonio, he appeared in 30 games. He wasn't taking very many threes, but he was hitting them. His minutes weren't that crazy or anything. But I think that he could be a guy that you bring onto a contending team just as a guy that's going to get up and down the floor. He's going to be intensity and everything else. If nothing else, he's going to play good defense. And if the shot's still there, then it's great. I immediately think Phoenix Suns on this one, someone to add a little bit of versatility and, if anything, just a contingency plan for, God forbid, something happens to Josh Okogie. And that's kind of where I see him fitting in. All right, next one here, Dwayne Dedmon. They didn't even give a picture to Dwayne. I'm going to be honest. Dwayne's just past his day. Probably about time to call it a career. His mobility is so weak at this point. When he was still contributing to the Hawks back in the day a little bit, and I know he contributed a bit for the Heat last year and everything, but it's just not quite there anymore. I don't really see Dwayne Dedmon ending up anywhere. Carlik Jones, yeah, no, he's with my Bulls, but not on the roster because they have 1,000-point guards and they don't need another scoring guard. I don't know with this one. He hasn't gotten a chance to play a ton of NBA minutes. Whenever he is on the court, though, he gets some buckets. In terms of who needs that scoring guard, that's a different question, though. I could see a Minnesota Timberwolves just needing a quality backup point guard, right? Someone that can just go get some buckets. So I could see them maybe picking him up. Otherwise, Sacramento, they've got enough point guards. Everybody's good on the Lakers. They've got enough point guards. I like everyone else's roster here in terms of that. The Miami Heat would actually be a really ideal place for him. They need the point guard help, A, and B, that's where people go to start their careers essentially, right? At this point, and that's what Carlik Jones needs. So let's get him out to Miami, why don't we? Blake Griffin. Blake. It's just not there anymore. It's fine that it's not there anymore. Yeah, no longer an elite athlete or anything when he was in his prime. I'm sure he could go out there today and give you a solid 10 minutes or something like that, which could be valuable to teams as a backup center or something like that. But I don't know. I'm not sure what that really means, especially since he didn't play much at the end of last year. He hasn't played it all this year. I'd say it's probably about time for Blake to wrap it up. Next one is Kevin Knox. Is Kevin Knox not actually on a team right now? Am I tripping? I was going to say, yeah, he's definitely on a team this year. He's on Detroit. Getting you 10 points a game. Oh, Wait a second. He's played in 5 games, got me 10 points a game. Okay, shout out Kevin Knox. Shooting 47% from 3 on about 4 attempts a game. Well, that just answers our question. Kevin Knox can be on a team and he can contribute. Great job. John Wall. Yeah, this is the one. Somebody's got to pick up John Wall, man. Like, it's probably got to be the Phoenix Suns, right? The Timberwolves are the other one again. Again, a scoring guard, some veteran leadership and stuff. John Wall is still good enough to get you double-digit points. Yeah, and probably the 5 assists a game. I know he's not like an elite shooter or anything, but his defense is still like pretty good too, and his athleticism is still pretty impressive. John Wall should be on a team. I don't know why he's not on a team. Looking at just like other teams that could pick him up, the Boston Celtics, do they really need another guard? Not really. The New York Knicks could probably use him. That'd be pretty cool to see John Wall as a Knick. Sixers, yeah, sure. Like, why not? Magic definitely don't need another person that can't shoot. Denver could probably use him. That's true. Minnesota, 100%. Clippers don't seem to want him back, so that's whatever. Yeah, no, I could, maybe even the Pelicans is just like a backup guard. I could see that as well. But yeah, no, somebody get John Wall on a roster. Next one they got here is Hamidou Diallo. Yeah, this sums it up right here. Very athletic guard who can give your team some solid shoot. I don't know about the solid shooting. Take that back. He can get you some solid defense and he can run the floor. Diallo is not a good shooter. I actually already have his stuff pulled up. Yeah, no, dude's not a shooter. He doesn't take them and he doesn't make them. This looks like it was just kind of an anomaly season. That was his best season. Like, that's great that he was able to get you double digits at one point in the NBA. I mean, these Detroit teams were pretty nonsense, so like somebody had to put the ball in the hoop. But I don't disagree with the fact that like he could be on a roster. Like, he's definitely better than some dudes on these rosters and everything. But you know, at the end of the day, when you can't shoot and you're just like a wing defender, that's a tough one, because I'd much rather have, who were we looking at before? I'd rather have a Kevin Knox, right? I'd rather have a Stanley Johnson or something, someone that's shown life from 3-point range. Next one, Goran Dragic. Yeah, I guess maybe if anything more so just lost some of the athleticism that made him special in his prime. I don't know if I ever considered him that athletic. Like, he was great in transition, but yeah, elite transition player. Thank you very much. And he could finish at a high level near the rim. Yeah, and he was a shooter. Goran Dragic was a really, really good player, man, for a while. So I almost just see him more as like a good vet to have on a team, like a scrappy vet. Like, I could see him on the Bucks again. You know where I'd actually like to see him? I know we're kind of only talking about contenders and stuff, but I'd like to see him on the Spurs. He looks like he belongs on the Spurs, and I feel like they could use like some veteran leadership, and more importantly, a point guard. Can somebody please play Trey Jones? Get Jeremy Sohan off the point guard position. Let Wembanyama have like some room and someone to pass him the basketball, for Christ's sakes. Let's get Goran Dragic on the Spurs. That's what I want. Ooh, TJ Warren. I forgot about TJ Warren. Yeah, man, we all remember Bubble TJ and everything. When he came into the league, he was a big-time scorer and everything. That's what he was known for, but just injuries have kind of held him back and everything. I don't see why he couldn't contribute on a good team, you know? I don't see why he couldn't. I don't know what his body looks like at this point, and that's the biggest question at the end of the day, because if we go to TJ here, I'm curious to see like what did he kind of finish off with last year. He was 7.5 points a game. Yeah, he didn't really shoot that much. Yeah, he's just missed so much time over the past couple years, and he missed a lot last year. I'd say it's probably just, that's it for TJ. The man's made some good money in his, yeah, there we go, 57 mil. I didn't realize this was a part of it. Dude's made some good money in his career, man. Probably just time to call it there. All right, into the top 10 now. Nerlens Noel. That could be an interesting one. Yeah, so obviously he's probably lost a step in his athleticism and everything, but having a guy that can just be a shot blocker off the bench and be athletic, I don't see why not. Nerlens didn't play very much last year, so that's kind of the tough thing. But, like, I don't see why, like, the Celtics or something can't bring him in as just, like, a reserve big. Like, who do the Celtics got on the roster right now? Like, we don't need J.D. Davidson on the team. Look, say what you will about Luke Cornett. I'd rather have Nerlens Noel, but I'm sure they love Luke Cornett on the team. I like Svi Mykhailiuk a lot. Oh, that's right. They got Keita. Keita should be, like, on the roster. I think he's just a two-way player, but Keita should be on the roster. I love Keita. They got dudes like Jordan Walsh and stuff. I think he's actually going to be a solid player. Like Lamar Stevens doesn't need to be on the team. We can have Nerlens Noel on the Celtics. I like that move. Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Isn't he on the Pelicans? Yeah, what the hell? Maybe they're not updating this list as often as I thought, but whatever. Yeah, as far as Jeremiah Robinson Earl, like, yeah, he's energetic and everything. He's shown life from 3-point range. I'll be honest, I've never been a huge fan of him. I don't see the upside as much as other people do, but I do like the energy and everything, and I think there's potential for him to be a spacer, but I don't see much else after that. And I don't like these like stretch bigs that can't play like any defense. So I don't know. Effort's great and everything, but until it translates to defensive numbers, not really about it. Terrence Davis. Yeah, this is one of those dudes like this is what like Cam Johnson looks like when he can't score 40 points a game. You get a dude that scoring minded guard who doesn't provide much defense but occasionally get hot off there. Yeah, exactly. No, this is Cam Thomas. Did I say Cam Johnson before? I meant to say Cam Thomas if I didn't. When he doesn't get you like 40 points. There's a lot of these dudes out there that play basketball that can just go get you a lot of points, but you know, it's either inconsistent or they're just really bad at everything else, really bad in terms of NBA standards, I should say. And I don't see Terrence Davis like on an NBA roster, man. There's plenty of dudes out there that can do what he does. So not here for it. Will the Thrill Barton. Yeah, no, a vet that's yeah, he's like yeah, no, he was still shooting well from 3 last year. We'd love to see that. The field goal percentage itself was a little rough, but I don't see why. Like, he's a little bit undersized. I believe he's like 6'5" or something like that. But I could see Will like on a team just contributing, maybe being somewhat of a switch defender on the wing. Who knows how much athleticism he still has, but if he could shoot a little bit, I could see him on like a contending team. He's a guy I could low-key see on the Lakers just for whatever reason, just kind of play off LeBron, play off all the other ball handlers that they have. That way Will doesn't have to have the ball. Otherwise, just kind of looking around, like put him on the Pistons, right? Just another like shooter. I know like Alec Burks kind of serves in that role that he would serve in, but just get some more vets on this team, man. Like help them out a little bit. Otherwise, I don't really see like a great fit anywhere. So I think it's slim pickings for Will. Who else we got here? Rudy Gay. He's another one. You get veteran leadership at this point. Rudy Gay is pretty much past his prime, man, and he's never been an elite shooter, really. Well, is that completely true? Like, I feel like in those like Toronto days, he was like a decent shooter. It was always his playmaking that was so bad, right? Like, let's see if we go to the 3-point percentage. Yeah, no, we got to 40 with the Spurs on like 2 a game. Did he play for the Spurs for that long? Jeez, that seems like so long ago. No, even in the Memphis days, he got up there a little bit. The quantity was never really there, but it was solid at points. It's never been consistent though, so that's kind of the thing with Rudy Gay. But man, he was good there for a while, man, especially coming out of UConn. Boy, it was tough. But no, the game's just passing him by, and he's such a poor playmaker. I mean, look at this. The boy's never gotten over 3 assists a game. Like, I just don't see it. JaMychal Green. So JaMychal Green's supposed to be like a spacing 4, pretty much a small ball 5, and that's kind of what the Warriors were hoping for last year. They ended up finding a much better option in Dario Saric. And yeah, solid shooter over his career. I mean, if we look to, I have to remember how to spell his name even, JaMychal Green. There we go. I feel like he's been pretty consistent throughout his career. 37, 26, 39. Yeah, he just had one really weird season, that last season with Denver, and that's why they got rid of him. But otherwise, he's been a pretty consistent shooter his whole career. So, like, if you told me that you were going to get JaMychal Green on your team and he was going to shoot at least like 36, 37% from 3, I could see him at least making a roster. I could see like a Philly or something. The more like just spacing bigs you can put next to Embiid, like that makes sense. They've got a lot of good switchability there right now, so I don't think you really need to make that move. Boston, he doesn't even really give you a different look because they have Porzingis now. See, I'm just thinking of this stuff on the fly. You know, Cleveland, they could use a little bit of big man depth. I could see Cleveland doing that and having like more of a true spacing big on the team. I could see that. Anybody that can shoot can play for the Mavericks. That'd be just wonderful. Otherwise, like an OKC or something. I know. Has he played for OKC before? No. Who am I thinking of? I I don't know who I'm thinking of for that one, but I could see him slotting in with OKC and being another like little stretch big or whatever. Because who do they have coming off the bench as a big? Like they have the other Jalen Williams. I'm not a huge fan of him. They have Bertans. Who would I rather have? Bertans or JaMychal Green? I might rather have JaMychal Green, honestly, just because like he has a little bit of presence down there. Pokashevsky's still on the team. Oh, fair enough. I feel like I haven't seen him on the court in forever. Is he hurt or something? I'm guessing Kenny Hustle plays a little bit. Does Sar still get any burn? I'd like to see him get some more burn, but no, he was only just playing at the beginning of the season. So yeah, give me JaMychal Green on the Thunder. Number 4, Wenyen Gabriel. I'm kind of surprised because like I didn't like Wenyen Gabriel hasn't been like great throughout his NBA career. Like don't look at his numbers as you will. He got to play a ton with the Lakers, right? And he got to play off LeBron and Anthony Davis and guys like that. So I think his numbers were inflated there, and even then they weren't like stupendous. But I thought he played really well in the World Cup, and I figured somebody would give him a chance, but nobody really did. So I don't know. I kind of just see him as like he's a lot of energy, which is great. You love energetic big men and stuff. He's like a worse Bismack Biyombo though, and sometimes he tries to shoot threes, and you just don't even want that out of him. I don't know. I could see him being like a Phoenix Suns backup or something like that. I don't really see him necessarily contributing a ton to a big time team, so take that as you will. Jalen Noel, someone that I think could be a really good NBA player, but the 3-point shot just hasn't materialized. Yeah, and even the Timberwolves didn't want him, which says something. He's got a good handle. He's great in transition. Yeah, like scoring minded for sure, but it's just the shooting, man. Because like I think he's a pretty solid defender too. Every time I've watched him, so if he's not on a team right now, if you could just grind it out and get that 3-point shot somewhere, my guy, you could help out a lot of these teams. One of them would be the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves need some more scoring, and as you can see, he was scoring for them last year. He just can't hit from 3. So if you told me Noel was going to be a 3-point shooter, slide him on a team. That boy probably dominating somewhere overseas right now, wherever he's at. Terrence Ross. Terrence Ross has kind of said he just doesn't really give a shit if he's on a roster at this point. He's had a hell of a career. Look, he's made $81 million. He's won dunk contests. He's left his mark on the NBA, right? And good for him. If you told me you were going to get like, you don't even need to get this 8 points a game anymore. If you told me you were going to get 37 points out of him in competent defense, hell yeah, you could throw him on a lot of rosters, right? I mean, he's what, like 6'6" or whatever. Another just versatile guy. I could see him being like a reserve on Cleveland or something, or New York, Philly. Like he fits that role, right? Like lengthier guard or guard/wing that can shoot, right? He can fit on any of these teams. Hell, throw him on the Timberwolves again. The Timberwolves need a bench, man. They just need some bench help, and they're already pretty good. Hell, you can even put him back on Orlando. They could use the veterans right now. They're playing really well. So, hey, give him a shooter and a vet. All right, I'm actually really curious who this number 1 is. Oh. Well, yeah, from purely a basketball standpoint, yeah, 100%. We don't need to touch on this too much. I don't think he's actually been convicted of anything, but I know some guys that coached him in college and stuff, and let's just say they were happy to see him go. I won't speak on his character because I don't know him or anything, but it sure seems like, if anything, he's one of those guys that's just around a lot of stuff that he shouldn't be. So even if he's not doing anything, it seems like he's in the wrong place or the wrong time pretty often. But man, he's sure talented. He's really talented, man. He's just one of those dudes that you can just put on a court and he's going to get you 20 points. We don't need to speculate like what team could use him. Every NBA team could use a guy like that, right? But whether or not he gets another chance, I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to be this season. Maybe next year or something. He'll come do some tryouts. He'll impress some people. Someone will give him a chance again. But somebody's going to need to like do a reality check with him at some point and be like, dog, you could be making some money. He's already made some money in the NBA. But like, I don't know. I hope the best for Kevin Porter because I like watching him play. He's a talented basketball player. But, got to get everything else cleaned up. But yeah, no, so those are the top free agents available right now. There was a bunch of other ones down here that we could have looked at, but I didn't think we needed to go by or past 20. Like Khem Birch, no. George Hill, he's probably retired. Kendrick Nunn, Witherspoon, no. Austin Rivers, no. Jack White, no, thank you. David Duke, I'm just going to 30 quick. Kennedy Chandler, no. Isaiah Roby, no. Kai Jones, oh, I mean, yeah, if he's okay. Like up here, Kai Jones could help some teams out for sure, for sure. I'm glad I kind of went down there now. But yeah, no, let me know what other things you guys want me to talk about or whatever. And always appreciate you guys watching and everything. The NBA season has been fun this year. I'm loving it all. I'm recording this on November 30th and everything, so I'm just getting ready for like the in-season tournament and everything. I love this season, man. This has been a good one. Just hope my Bulls make some trades now. But yeah, appreciate you guys, and we'll see y'all next time.